what is the position of Wits Mining School in terms of embracing digital technology?
Well, digital technologies are necessary to take us to the next step when it comes to mine safety. I think we have been pretty good at trying different things to improve mine safety at mines, but there is still a step change that's required, and that proves to be harder than what we thought. And I do think having access to digital technologies and so that you can see the kind of risks that miners are exposed to on a daily basis will make a difference.
Okay. So in light of that, tell me what Digimon is and how did Digimon come to be?
Right. I come from a mining family, so I know what it's like when my fellow family members are hurt because of a mine accident. So the one thing to do is to make mining safer, is to put distance between people and mining. In order to do that, you need to do a few things. You need to understand the risk, and you need to know where people are relative to that risk. Once you know how far people are from the typical risks that they are exposed to, and you can communicate with them, you can tell them to get away from the risk. And that way we can save a lot of mines, a lot of lives in mining.
So what is Digimon? Is it catering to address that need in the industry?
It is doing exactly that. It is looking at what technologies can do to put distance between people and risk.
Okay. So what is Digimon working on at the moment, particularly with regards to priority projects in 2018?
We are working on several themes. I think we need to start there before we go to projects. And inside the themes there are projects. The first theme is to get communications to work all the time, reliably all the time. Because without good communication between the surface of the mine, the control room environment and underground, it will not be possible to make mines safer. We need to be able to communicate, and in real time, two ways, down the mine and back up out of the mine. Now, when you work on wireless communication systems, then all sorts of possibilities open up. Like, for example, the next step is to make it more reliable, and then to say, can we give this communication system more jobs? Not like similarly to our cell phone. Our cell phones originally were designed to communicate. That were like a long time ago. That was like, now a cell phone can do several things. It has a map, you can position it, you can navigate with it, you can get intelligence from it, you can get weather data from it, you can get all sorts of information from your cell phone. I don't know why we call it a cell phone anymore, because it's not a phone. But in the same way, it works for underground systems. We can start giving wireless sensor networks more jobs, like doing positioning, like finding missing people, like what happened at Lily Mine. Working towards technologies to say, if a person has this gadget with him or her, we'll be able to find that person. We'll just use signals in order to trace that person, find that person, and save that person. So one such a project is looking at the technology to find missing people underground who cannot speak for themselves. Then when you start doing that, you can add other kinds of technologies to it, like biometric data, getting heartbeat rates, getting all sorts of intelligence from that person, so that we know whether the person is alive or what the health condition of that person is. So we're still in communications, but we are doing all sorts of things now to the same communication system. The next is to do positioning. We have become so used to finding our location by switching our GPSs on that we can't read the map anymore. We can't even find places that we've been to before without switching the GPS on. So we no longer know how to look for beacons outside the car. We look for something inside the car, the screen that navigates us. Now, that kind of technology has massive application in mining if you can make it to work. Because if you can see yourself in the mine map in real time and understand the risks around you, you can know for yourself you're in an area that you should not be, and then navigate yourself out of that space. Instead of navigating from point A to point B, you navigate away from risk. And all the tools and software tools to do that, the algorithms are there. We just need to get the link between surface and underground, and that's a very nice project that we're working on. And we're working that project. We're working with China University of Mining and Technology, and the Science and Technology, because we need access to satellite data, and South Africa doesn't have satellites. So that's a very exciting project. The next also in that space is in the area of laser scanning. Laser scans are being used so much nowadays, and it's the same thing. If we can get laser scanners to work reliably and accurately and put it on a moving platform like a vehicle, then every time we visit a site for a second time, we can overlay the point cloud data and look for movement in between. So in the same way, as we can pick up air quality data, we can pick up data of rock health in terms of stability, which also helps because rockfalls are a real risk in mining. The next area comes then with advanced numerical modeling techniques to make sensor data visible in a software platform, like for example getting a temperature or any information from a sensor, put that information in numeric modeling techniques and see what's happening away from that sensor, because we need to know in between what's happening in between sensors, and for that we can also use these smart things. And the final thing comes with the final theme comes with the integration of different systems, so that we have to do what's happening with a cell phone. So at the moment, you have a positioning system, you have a CAD map, you have this, you have that, you have air quality sensors, but the trick is to put everything together in an intelligent way that can flag risk and can communicate the risk in order to make sure people are safe. Now, out of all of that, big exciting projects certainly is the underground UAV, which is now in its second generation prototype. It's a very exciting technology to make a drone that works above the ground to make it work below the ground. Another one is wireless sensor networks to find missing people underground, which is a priority. Then using computing techniques to flag risk and to make risk visible, like rock health and air quality, and then making smart decisions. And then maybe the last thing is the training. It doesn't help to have all these technologies and we don't roll the skills out that's necessary for these technologies. The artisans who must maintain systems like we have here, or the qualifications, the skill set is very different to what they are taught. Because you no longer go and wait to a battery or wait until the battery is flat. You go into a computer, you click your way, you look at the battery levels and all of that. So the whole maintenance system is different in the technology space. And the same applies for technicians and professionals who must design these systems.
Why do you think, or why is Sibanye-Stillwater such an important role player in what you're doing in the digital space?
Well, Sibanye-Stillwater is, in my view, the dream partner. And the reason is, when they gave the first money, they said, Fred, do what you like with it, but we want value for money. And they did not interfere in any way. I had to report to tell them exactly why we are doing it and how we are doing it, but they left it to build the laboratory. They didn't question any, and that was very nice from an academic perspective, because if you are strategically working on a project and they say, but hey Fred, we have this problem. We want you are doing this work, go and do it and apply it on our mind. It is disruptive because we are still busy. Research is new. in this space for us. So we are still busy building capacity and all of that, and it can be disruptive if you have a partner that gets excited the way they did and then say, no, but you must go and do it now. And that's what they allowed the freedom to say, to identify our own projects, to put it together, to link the students, but in just in a digital mining context, which was quite nice, and I like that. It's now that they said, okay, there's a new donation on the table. We want you to start applying what you've done before to this, but that's also nice because they do it in the beginning of the partnership. So strategically, I can now put it together and see how we're going to do it, how we're going to roll it out, and things like that. So I think it's the freedom of decision making that comes with the partnership.
Okay, and do you think Wits School of Mines is a front runner or a leader in terms of embracing technology from an academic and a research perspective?
I do believe that the School of Mining is one of the top mining engineering schools in the world. But then I'm biased. But the numbers tell me that too, so I do think so. As for the Institute, I think the Institute just takes that fundamental knowledge that you have in the School of Mining Engineering to the next level, where we start saying, okay, you need this knowledge, but what does it mean in saving lives underground? What does it mean in making mines more productive? And that's the space where the Institute plays in the technology space, to say, okay, but this is the bridge between the fundamental work that's necessary in the school and the applied work, applied to a problem work in an institute.